Pro boxing fans here with Johnny Nelson. Johnny, we're in Riyadh. It's fantastic setting behind us with the aeroplanes, and we're on a runway. It just looks great. Isn't it?
Restaurants in the planes. It's like, can you imagine what Air Force One looks like inside? Thing's big, man. Looks like a house.
It's a proper setup here, man. Listen, these guys don't mess about when it comes to fight weeks, and they don't mess about when it comes to making fights. We're here for the rematch. Oleksandr Usyk, Tyson Fury. Talk to me about this one, man. Second time around, how hard is it for the loser to overcome a loss and beat the person that beat him the first time?
I think Tyson Fury's had to do a lot of soul searching from the first loss for many reasons. One, for the abuse and the things he said to and about Oleksandr Usyk, and he felt like he mugged himself off. And well, you kind of know he felt like that, because yesterday he said, I don't want to have egg on my face, I've got to get a job done here. So after the things he said the last time, he knows he probably mugged himself off. I think that probably hurt him more than anything, hurt his pride. And then he went out there and he gifted the right word. He didn't box to the best of his ability against Usyk, and Usyk did. Usyk was professional. Usyk had the right attitude, and Usyk got out there and got the job done. Tyson regrets that, because he thought he could treat him the same way he treated every other opponent. He had to respect a guy that was an elite fighter just like himself, and he didn't.
If there's any fighter from this era to overcome adversity, it probably is Tyson Fury, with what's happened in his life and everything else. But I do want to ask you, for the build-up for this fight, there's a lot more respect. There's been a lot more quiet on Tyson's side. Do you feel like this is just Tyson in a more focused, like a warrior mode? Because there's been no social media from him at all.
I like that. When Tyson's a good boxer, and he's been able to play with that talent he has, and sometimes not perform to the best of his ability and win. And I'll do it by boxing foreplay, getting in your head before the fight, and then he'll it's a walk in the park. And he's got away with it. That's how good he is. So now he's did it against somebody that's another elite fighter, and he didn't go in there with, as far as I'm concerned, a champion's mentality. This time he's gone in there thinking, you know what, I'm going to turn my shit on and make sure I tick every single box. So if I lose, I'm going to lose because I got beat by the better boxer. And I think there's a frustration from Tyson within himself, thinking, I let myself down. And after all the things he said and done before the fight, he feels like he mugged himself off. So I like this version of Tyson Fury. And I think this version of Tyson Fury, I want to see what he's like his fight week in front of Usyk, while he's around Usyk. I don't want him to hit on him. I don't want him to be his main, palling him up. I want him to go in there thinking, I'm going to F you up. And that's it. Hold it down. Because he knows when he's shouting in Usyk's face, Usyk can no, that shit ain't mean anything to me. And Tyson knew that. So Tyson's got to concentrate on him. He's got to do what he's good at.
Tyson Fury said in an interview yesterday with Queensbury that he's going to end Usyk's career. Just going off that then, do you feel like we could possibly see the retirement of one of these men on the back of the result of this fight?
Depends on the result, how the result is. If it's devastating, yes. If it's not, and it's tight, it's round 13, and it's a mirror image of the last fight, no. We all know the fight, that's a big money fight out there for Tyson Fury if he loses to Oleksandr Usyk. Obviously not devastatingly. For Usyk said he'll step down to cruiserweight after beating Tyson. He's one of the fighters that's he controls his boxing career, and his career doesn't control him. So do I believe he'll do that? Yeah. But then it's a case of, is he going to get the same kind of purses fighting at cruiserweight, and then he does it heavyweight? No. So we'll see. We'll have a look.
Tony Bellews had a bit to say about this. He wrote, I saw in a few articles where he said Tyson Fury cannot afford for Usyk to bully him like he did in the first fight. Do you believe that bullying, it probably wasn't physical, but do you believe that was the energy that he's just talking about, Usyk's energy? And did you feel like Tyson was getting bullied in that first fight?
You've got to look at the whole fight. It was around, Tyson had Usyk, Usyk had Tyson. And nobody's seen Tyson in that situation. His legs are gone, he'd got hurt, he wobbled, so it looked like he was getting bullied. Tyson got Fury, and Fury's legs are gone as well, twice. Round 6 and round 7, I think it was. So this is how evenly matched this fight was. So Tyson's got to use his offensive boxing talent and skill to get the job done, because if he doesn't, he gets knocked out. It's that simple. And so does. But the difference between Tyson and Usyk was, Usyk went in there with a professional mindset and mentality. Tyson didn't. He's pulling his tongue out, looking at the crowd, talking to everybody, making out as though he speaks a piss. You know, if you play the fool, you're going to sometimes be treated like a fool, and you've got away with it with everybody else. This is the last person you want to play that game with, and he found out, and that's why his attitude this week is completely different. For this camp, it's completely different. If you believe he hasn't spoken to his wife for 3 months, okay, then I actually like that. He's spiky, he's mean, he's no nonsense, no bullshit. He's not on about you, bothered about you and I. He just wants to get rid of Usyk. So I'm just intrigued to see how he is when they're face to face.
The final two from myself, quick one. Dubois, Joseph Parker, both have had similar trajectories in regards to Riyadh season. Both fighters were written off at one point in their career. They both seem to have elevated themselves to a great point. Obviously, Danny Dubois, world champion now. But talk to me about that fight. What happens in that fight?
Good fight. I think Danny Dubois' career is moving in the right direction. Confidence-wise, there's strong young ox coming through. I think Joseph Parker's a much better technical fighter, but I think Daniel Dubois' style is very unique, and it's a young man's style, and it suits him down to the ground. I think he'd probably be a bit too strong for Joseph Parker, but Joseph Parker is a good survivor as well as a good boxer. I'd be surprised if he lost by knockout, but I could see him getting hurt a couple of times in the fight.
Just final, Anthony Joshua, there's talks that Anthony Joshua is potentially waiting on the results of this fight before he makes his next move about his next fight, which could be a Tyson Fury fight possibly next summer. Do you feel like that's too long a wait for Anthony Joshua?
No, no, because I think Anthony Joshua should walk away. So therefore, if he's going to box on, he's going to make sure he's going to make the right move. And the right move is, if he's going to box on, he's better off fighting Fury. It'd be a bigger purse, and than fighting Dubois and risking losing again. And even though the fight of Fury is always there, the purse is never as big. They're never going to be as big. So I understand him hanging about and waiting. Well, let's just wait and see what's said on Monday morning. Let's just wait and see.
Fair enough. John Nelson, always a pleasure, mate. I know you've got to get on there, so thank you so much for your time. Top man.